So
My
our
software
final and
wasn't
last.
ready.
Oh,
Jesus God.
I
Intro.
was waiting.
Huh?
Because the way you were pointing, I was like, I'm hosting. I was
Oh,
like,
and
but you
well, do
normally host.
you
I
know
was like,
what?
what?
Do you know what? Just take it away. It's the last episode of the year. I'm tired. Let's take it away, Carmo.
My baubles are ringing. I shouldn't actually say that. Hello everybody, and welcome to the final and last episode. Well, final and last of the same thing.
It's the
Of
last
the
episode of the 5Marks. What?
finally, it's only been a year and a half. But I suppose we lasted this long. But yeah, welcome to the last episode of the Five Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast for the 2023 year. I was almost supposed to say 2024. I'm a year ahead. My eyes seem very squinted. I'm not like, oh, okay. This is terrible. A year and a half in, and this is an awful, awful intro. But I am your host for this week. I am Carmo. Well, we are like we're both hosts, really. Like we're all hosts.
Yeah.
I am Carmo. This is.
Mr. Martin, always here. I don't know what to say.
Should go like that, really, because I
I
know you're above me.
I just want to apologize straight off the bat. I am super tired. RCW was last night. I've been sick with a cold, and Robbie Mack has been in my fucking DMs all fucking week about editing the episode that you're seeing 2 weeks ago. So
Tonight as we were
tonight
as
as
we
we're yeah,
recording.
tonight as we're recording with the Hard Knock lads, and fucking 2 weeks ago for when you're actually listening to this. So I've had a fun week of being sick, editing, and wrestling, really pretty much. So I cannot wait to be done. 2023 has been fun, but I cannot wait to be done.
Do you know what? I might sneeze here, but anyway. Do you know what? We'll talk about like RCW. We have to talk about Hard Knocks, and I think there's maybe 2 OTT shows we have to talk about as well. We'll do all that in the new year. This is a little bit separate. But what I do want to start off with, those last 2 episodes that we just put out, one with the Hard Knocks lads, which was Galacini, Just Monty, and Robbie Mack, and the episode with Boots. How much fun did we have doing those
So much
episodes?
fun. So much fun. Like, look, as much as like I've been giving shit to Rob on my own Instagram and to actually in person, but with having to edit like 5 hours of editing, which I didn't need. It was so much fun to fucking watch back. Like Jesus Christ, you could just tell we were having fun, having a chat. Yeah, like if you haven't listened to it, you have to. You really have to, because I feel like it was the one time we all kind of got to just sit down and just be ourselves. Just literally just like there's fucking Kean Galacini, there's fucking Monty, Carmo, Rob, and me. And then our lovely studio audience at the very end of Big Boots Murphy.
Yeah, of course. Great audience too to have as well. I don't think that actually made the final cut when he walked in.
Oh no, it did, but the rest of it didn't.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Because I'm not going to go into any more than that. But yeah, no, it was really nice because like obviously, I think we did 2 interviews. One was with AJ, which obviously Gaza was involved with, and the other one was with Francis Mercer. They were our 2 only ever live ones.
Yeah.
But I think to do it with that kind of group as well for the first one for Hard Knocks, and then that kind of warmed us up for when Boots was going to be there.
Yeah.
Now we were supposed to be
warmed us up.
Episode. Yeah, well, yeah, we were supposed to be recording this episode that same day as well, with Emmett, who
is not here again. Still not here.
If anybody finds him, tell him the 5Marks are looking for him. But unfortunately, it was just far too cold that none of us could sit there for any longer. So we decided, right, okay, let's pack this up. But even when we went outside, like we went for food after we finished the second episode, which was the Boots episode. And I remember walking down the road, and it was cold outside, it was cold inside. I remember walking down the road to get the food, and my legs felt like they were actually starting to freeze. Like, as in, like I thought I was going to be ready to pick off ice off them. Like, it was that cold.
It was so nice to walk into the fucking place, like the food place, and just have that heating. It's like, like we cannot justify how cold. Like, to be fair, I can. I kind of flew. Like literally, the very next day, I was fucking out. Like RCW yesterday morning was the first time I didn't feel like shit, like really shit. Like I probably still have it in my fucking voice now. Like my nose isn't stuffy, but it's still like kind of there. Like it was so cold in there. Like if you haven't watched the VOD, even like go like watch the Hard Knocks one. Fucking Gala's in a fucking. He's wearing the fluffy blanket because it's that cold. The boots one, I have the fucking blanket on my fucking legs because my legs were
Yeah.
frozen. Would I
Even
do
I
it?
had a cardigan. I had a cardigan that was like it's about the size of a blanket. I think Robbie Mack wore it for the first one. I think Boots wore it for the second one. It was that kind of cold out, like. But yeah, no, it was unbelievable. But thanks again to the lads if you are listening. Thanks again for actually coming down, doing it. I hope everybody enjoyed watching it because we had a lot of fun doing it.
I actually much prefer
Um,
doing it like that. Like I enjoyed the one we did with Axel that time. I enjoyed the one except for getting kicked off the podcast. That wasn't fun. Um, I enjoyed doing the Mercer one. I prefer doing them in person. Like that's why I like doing the interviews after Hard Knocks and the time we did it after RCW. Like it's just so much better to like do it there with the lads in person and feed off each other. Like I just
yeah,
like we do it here, but I feel like it's so much better like when we do it like I don't want to say IRL, but like out and about.
yeah, no, 100%. It is. It is. It gives that different element as well. And I think you'll see it if you haven't watched those two episodes, yeah, go and watch them. But I think the Boots one especially kind of shows it a bit more. But there's a lot more antics that happen
Yeah,
while we're recording that maybe doesn't happen in this sort of situation. Do you know that kind of way?
yeah,
Like there's a lot of things said, like even during the Hard Knocks one, Galacini just started singing randomly through one of the stages. Like I don't think that kind
not
of
one of the
happens maybe in
stages.
this
Every
stage.
fucking half an hour he was singing.
Every half an hour, yeah. But I don't think that happens in these kind of calls, if that makes sense.
No,
But yeah,
no.
it was so much fun, so much fun.
I cannot wait to do it again. Like I think 100% we're gonna do it with the Hard Knocks lads again. I really want to do a musical episode.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Just like Gala and Axel just fucking singing the like in the Hard Knocks ring or something like that for an episode. Like oh Jesus Christ, that'd be brilliant.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for it. But as well as that, like there was people obviously that weren't there for the Hard Knocks one, like Francis Mercer, Alex Jarrett, yeah, no, Axel Jarrett, Alex Jarrett, not
Axel,
Axel Jarrett. Forgotten his name. And a couple of other guys that have been with Hard Knocks since, if not even the start from the last year or even this year themselves. Steve, of course, being one of them as well. That it would be cool to kind of do another collective one with even a couple more of the lads, and I think it's just a bit of fun. I like any of the interviews we've done with the Hard Knocks lads, which is nearly all of them at this stage. It's just been so much fun, so much fun.
oh
Even
yeah,
if you take them separately, like the first Galacini one we did was so much fun. The Francis Mercer one we did was so much fun. Even the first Robbie Mack one we did was so much fun. They've
yeah.
all just been so much and so much fun.
Uh, Robbie Mack, yeah.
Hey, look, save the whales.
No, I don't take that out of context. I care about the whales. He annoys me with that.
He says it quite a lot, alright. Hey, look, he'll probably get beat up by Chris Connolly soon. He'll be alright.
Oh please God, Jesus Christ, that's a sight to see. It's a shame. I
Hopefully,
hope I
yeah.
hope though his next thing like he doesn't hurt his ankle because like that was like really
Yeah.
bad.
An awful ankle injury too. Like he was out for a while with that.
For anyone that will for anyone listening on Spotify, we just grabbed our shoulders pretending there was an ankle injury.
Oh, we're back
That
to
was another thing I loved as
anybody
well.
listening on
I loved
Spotify.
I'll say this. I loved the Robbie Mack ASMR moments as well. Like just there, right there, like fucking just stupid shit we would never have done if it was over Zoom.
Never have happened. Never ever have happened.
So
Never.
like
My bowels are jingling.
I'd love to fucking do more in person. Like obviously we will at fucking some point. Like if someone comes down to Hard Knocks, maybe like 2 hours before the show, if we can get them, you know.
Yeah. So look, if somebody's listening wants to sponsor us and buy us a big warehouse or a studio where we can perform all these live interviews, it would be greatly accepted.
Please God, I feel like Robbie Mack could afford that, but it's gonna be
He
massive.
probably can, like, but he's too busy saving the whales.
But what a 2023 it's been.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. I was just going through a list there of people. We threw out a list this time last year about people who we'd love to see on the podcast next year. And like going through it there now, I think there's three people out of the list of names that we didn't get, which I will say two of them were supposed to happen.
Yeah.
One of them, I think, for the year that we've just had was a little bit of a reach, but I think for
Oh yeah.
2024 is definitely possible.
Well, to be fair as well, like I didn't exactly ask the far reach person either. Like
No,
I've
no,
gotten the
no.
pleasure of chatting to the person, and I never asked like,
Yeah,
will you come on our podcast because I'm a
yeah,
big fan and I love what you do?
yeah. Now, in fairness, out of the people that we have got on, there's one name in particular that you like. Even when I think you told me that he was coming on, I was like, no, he's not coming on. Of course, he's not coming on. Um, which Joe, I'll go through the names and I'll go through them one by one so we can talk a little bit about them. Joe Cabray.
Oh wow. Sure. Let's go through this list first, as in like how like we thought the interview went, and then like we can go
Yeah, yeah,
because like it is like wow. When I got that text, um, from a very good friend of ours who I don't know if he wants us
very
to
good
give.
friend.
I don't know if he wants us to give him the credit. He texts me and was like, "Hey, I got Joe. We're gonna come on this date at this time," and I was like, "You're joking, right? Like you're joking." He goes, "No, no, I promised you guys this. I've delivered. Joe will be on the show." I was like, "Wow," and it was a great interview. I really enjoyed it, and cheers to Joe Cabray coming on talking about mental health and stuff like that. Um, we were supposed to have him on again, but just time was just not on our side. In terms of like it was coming up to the ninth year, and he was just far too busy. But he has interest in coming back on, which is like the coolest thing ever. So I know the first one went pretty good, but he's like, yeah, I'd love to come back on. But yeah, that was fucking two of us sitting there beforehand being like, oh, I hope we don't fuck this up.
Yeah, as I kind of said there a few minutes ago, I remember when you sent in the text and you were like, Joe's coming on. I was like, yeah, of course he is. Not to talk. I'm never going to get to talk to Joe. Never. And then it happened. And I remember I I I can remember go back to like the Fox interview, which I think was around November last year.
Yes.
November, December last year, give or take. And I remember how nervous I was for that interview
Yeah.
because it was our first interview. And I remember like a couple of more after that as well. And I remember being so nervous. I don't think I was ever in my life as nervous as I was getting ready for that one.
Oh yeah.
And I'm talking like 24 hours before when I started preparing my questions, my research, my everything. I have never been so nervous in my life.
It was fucking because it was one of those ones like we've been told stuff that like would make us think like oh not a chance not at least until year two. We built a bit of a reputation for ourselves that we get Joe Cabray, and to what month did we get Joe on? Was it?
I think we were probably about a year in.
It
It was
was
probably like June or July.
May
May.
20th was when that episode went out.
Not
So
even a year in.
not even a year in, and we fucking had Joe Cabray like come on to talk about working in NXT, traveling the world, and coming home, building OTT, and Joe like it was insane. Like if you told us in April that was going to happen, we'd laugh at you.
You could tell me now that he was coming on, and I'd be like, yeah, right, 100%. It was like telling me that the Undertaker is going to come on the podcast or something. Like it's
Oh,
not happening. It's just not going to happen.
oh, that would be a dream one. Although my dream one is still the two lads who are on my phone, FTR,
Yeah,
to
we'll
come
go
on.
through those in a second. Another name to list off. We'll go. No, okay. So there was four names. One of them we've down here as the freshness. Now we did get Fabio,
We did.
but we're yet to get Martin Steers.
We'll get him around.
Yeah.
We'll eventually get like like oh you come on stop being a muppet and just come chat to us for an hour
Do, do,
about.
do you know what? I'll throw it out here now on the 2024 list that we're possibly going to put out in the next
Oh yeah,
couple
we
of
will.
days. Martin Steers is number one on that list.
Oh yeah, I'd
He's
love
top
to.
of that list.
I'd love to chat to Martin Steers like and just like talk about the massive turnaround that everyone's always talking about that like of everyone has stepped up after COVID that like he's a major person that stepped up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Tell the story about the day we interviewed Fabio.
So when I reached out to Fabio and we got Fabio, I thought I had booked Fabio for a Thursday. So I'm walking out of work at like 20 past 6, quarter past 6. No care in the world, walking down the town, just like da 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 da. And I get a text from Fabio. Hey, are we still on for tonight? Now we like all our interviews are always at 7 o'clock. So I'm there. What are you saying about tonight? So I was about to text him back and be like, Joe, no, today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's not till Thursday. And then I was like, let me just double check. Scroll up. Ah, shit! I had agreed Tuesday, but for some reason in my head, I fucking thought Thursday. So I cannot tell you. I fucking ran to the car, got home as quick as possible, told the family, like, yeah, fuck dinner, forget dinner. I have to get on a fucking call. And Jesus Christ, got in, got the podcast up. I think because I normally, like, the way we do the podcast is Carmo does a lot of the question preparations, and I go off the style of I like to listen in and I like to hear something they say and go, that's really interesting, let's talk more about that. And I just was so underprepared. I was all over the place. I thought it went terrible. I was there. Fabio is never going to come back on again because
I actually thought it went quite well. Like, I think I was under the same. I think I might have been off that day or something, so I might have had my research done. But I was under the same kind of thing. Like, you texted me at like 20 past 6, and you were like, "We're interviewing Fabio at 7." I was like, "Oh bollocks! Fuck, here we go. Okay, get ready, prepared. Okay, I'm good." But yeah, there was that thing of, I think there was just that time pressure that there wasn't enough time to like get nervous for it,
yeah,
but there also wasn't enough time to get ready for it. You weren't kind of, I don't know, when it finished, we both kind of said this, and you kind of said a little bit more because I think you were a little bit more underprepared. Not that that's,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? That like we didn't feel like it went that well, but it was also like it was okay, but it was like it wasn't our best, you know, that kind of way. And then once you heard it back, it was like, no, it was
Oh,
actually
Jesus
really,
Christ, what the
really
fuck
good.
was I
It was
worried
actually
about? That was a
really
great
interesting. Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
Even I
yeah,
text
really, really
Fabio, I was
good.
like, oh, sorry, like, I hope that went well. I hope you enjoyed it. He goes, lads, that was fucking class. Can't wait to be back on.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh,
very, very good.
thank fuck.
We'll, who will we go next? Joe, who'll go next? Man who returned at Hard Knocks, Mr. Terry Thatcher.
What a guy.
Yeah,
So, look, here's another fucking story for you guys, alright? This was our third or fourth interview, I think.
something in around that. Yeah,
Third or fourth interview, and we got Terry Thatcher.
I'm
And
gonna, I'm gonna load up. I'm gonna load up Spotify here in a
oh,
minute. We can go
I
through.
have it here, so I can kind
Okay,
of
okay.
I can find out when you're talking. But this time we were like this was just before we started fucking like banging out interview, and so we always talk to the guys like for 2 minutes beforehand, and we asked them like uh, is there anything you want to touch on? And one of the things he'd said to us was like. I obviously, Hard Knocks is coming up. I can't give you any details or stuff like that. I could do
It's,
small things. I can't
yeah,
reveal it. We're like, yeah, that's no
as
problem at
well
all.
as well as that, I think it was around the time of Homecoming. I think it was Homecoming or Road to Scrapper, and I was like, "Oh, are you all set for the OTT show as well?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and I was like, "Ah, cool, cool." And he was like, "Oh, I obviously can't tell you what the fuck I'm doing, like, but yeah, I'm ready for it." Like, and then we asked that question and the same kind of thing. But go on.
But yeah, so like he said, I can't tell you what's happening. So it's the coolest thing to watch back because this is the first time we got to do anything. Uh, we were chatting away with Terry, and I think like because I honest to God, I feel like we have such a comfort vibe where like we're not out to get anybody. We're not like trying to like fucking catch a clip. We're just sitting chatting shit, getting to know the person. That he just got comfortable because like, when I said are you looking forward to Hard Knocks? Because at this time it was the second show coming up, and I just love that he just sat back and goes, do you know what? I've got an exclusive for you guys. I'm gonna fight Danny Cross, and I was just like, blown away. And that's kind of what like kind of started like us getting more opportunities, we'll say. We're getting to do stuff with Hard Knocks. We're getting. I feel like that would have brought more eyes to us, from a few wrestler standpoints and stuff like that as well. So, and I've told him like when after it happened, I said we could never forgive you for what you did because we got our podcast on a wrestling show as part of a highlight toward as part of the promo towards the match itself. Uh, and we just got such a fucking like it was the first time anything like that happened for us as wrestling fans. So like it was just a big mark moment.
It's one of those things that I think even when we started doing interviews, that you'd always hope for.
Yeah,
So that kind of way, you'd always hope to get that little something out of someone that, like, I suppose for us, and like, I know it's very selfish of us to kind of look at it that way, but for us, that like shows us in a different level, or like puts us here, or puts us there, or whatever else. But Terry was one of the first people to do that. I'd always claim, like, Foxy for being our first one. It was massive. We like, without Foxy, I don't know if we'd be doing an interview. We might even have podcasts today, to be honest with you.
oh yeah,
Um, without Boots as well being the second one. But I think Terry is one of them people that, like, we're nearly in debt to him for what he's done for us. Do you know that kind of way? Like, it's just, it's been so incredible. And that interview as well. It was actually one of my favorite interviews that we've done. And I think we talked to him for nearly an hour and a half, 2 hours. I could have talked to him for another hour and a half, 2 hours. We
an
like
hour
barely
23.
scratched the
Yeah,
surface, barely scratched the surface of his career. Could have stayed talking for longer and longer and longer. Um, and like, I just owe him so much, so much, and I can't thank him enough. And I understand I'm not going to go into it because it's none of our business or anyone else's business. But he got good news recently,
so that
and I want
yeah,
to say congratulations to the Terry Thatcher family. And I hope I mean to say every guest that we've ever had on and everything like that. But I hope you have a happy Christmas.
you never said that to me.
Yeah, fuck you.
Go on, show us another name.
Next Bittersweet Josh.
Honest to God, was so fucking cool. Josh, like, as we said, was on the name. Like we I think at that point had seen Josh
Twice,
once.
maybe?
Yeah, twice because he would have been a Hard Knocks. That's when Sweet and Sour was a Hard Knocks. So like I thought Josh was doing this for fucking years. Like he just had the look. He was so smooth in the ring. And the match we saw against it was Justin Daniels, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I thought he was doing it years, and to hear like, oh no, this is my first year. I was like, not even his first year. His first couple of months or something like that. It was like, what? What do you mean? So as well, like, the coolest thing I found from that was like we had obviously beforehand we had the Semon who we'll talk about because you'll bring his name up. That I hearing the stories from them about Josh Noonan, uh, the way that they have such a close friendship, because like they all came in together. It's like, oh, we have to get the rest of the lads on now because this is just class. And Bittersweet Josh interview was so much fun. I remember it was so easy as well. Like at this point, we were still getting like really fucking nervous for interviews, but holy shit, Josh's one was just so easy.
Yeah,
So,
incredibly good. So much fun as well. And looking at where Josh is now to where he was then, like, it's a completely different Josh.
oh yeah,
Like, there was no BDE. I think what were the sweet and sour at
Sweet
one
and Sour.
stage.
They just
There was
started
I
Sweet and
don't
Sour
I think just started as well. Like, but to see where he's come now, like, he's made his stadium debut. He's the GN champion.
2 time.
He's running in every promotion. You know, that kind of way. He's rocking it everywhere he goes. Like, he recently fought in Italy where he won the GN title for the second time. Like, an incredible year for him. An incredible year
They
for,
literally just fought Scotty Tuhati.
yeah, yeah. And I think he's isn't he fighting Enzo in a couple of weeks next
Yeah,
week?
he is. Yeah,
You know, that kind of way. So an incredible year for Josh. Um, I think there's one more out of their kind of group, and Boots would have talked about it, about the, like, School of Irish Wrestling group. And the last one I want to leave separate because for a reason. But those group of lads have been incredible to us.
Oh yeah.
I know there's two or three of them that are kind of starting to make their breakthrough now that we haven't got on yet. But trust me, they'll be on this podcast. They'll be on. We'll talk to them. We'll go through every format of the
I just want to
interview.
say as well, because I've said this in past things before, and I was actually saying this to Matt Scarlett last night. The one thing I hate is we've had to balance topic interviews. So it's
Yeah,
not giving us more of a chance to get those guys on who would, because there are guys who have asked to come on, but just it's never been the right time, which sometimes actually plays so fucking well because when eventually we get that person on, like a Matt Schuyler, there's so much more to talk about. And there's so much bigger things coming up, so it works out that way. Um, Next year, which I'll announce at the end, we'll have more opportunities to finally get those people on who want to come on and have a chat. And I cannot wait. So if you are sitting like one of the wrestlers going, man, I'd really like to go and chat with those guys, you might get on. Well, not even might. There's a high chance you're going to get on in 2024.
but reach out to us as well because if we can't find time for you in the next like week or two, we'll find time for you. Like I think what we're I'm not even going to talk
We're
about it.
not going to turn it. Like, we're not going to turn anyone down
No, but what we
unless.
might try to do is try schedule things a little bit better.
Yeah.
So whereas if we have something booked for a week or two, we'll book you in for the third week or the fourth week or whenever you're free or whenever we're free or whatever. So we like you'll everybody will be able to come on the podcast. There's no absolute trouble then. Next one on the list was it's down as the draw. Now we did get two out of the now five members of the draw.
Four.
Five. He's an official member.
For
Yeah,
those
be
listening on
cool. Yeah,
Spotify, I've just been giving him the middle finger the whole time.
yeah. No, you would give Be Cool the middle finger, even though he's part of the draw.
Both of you. Go on.
But yeah, we had Jay, Danny Cross, and Sammy D. We'll start with Sam, because Sam for me was one of the toughest interviews we did.
It was the first. Okay, I'm not going to peel back the curtain, but yes, um, it it wasn't for me. I actually that was one of my favorite ones, for reasons I'm not going to go into, because I'm not peeling back the curtain. But it was super super fun because I don't want to say it was the first time people got to see it because they might have done it on OT and stuff, but I feel like it was one of the first times where people got to kind of see that there was this shift happening, because the whole time with the lead up to the Omari match was Sam is the bad guy, we all cheer for Omari, and just sitting listening to Sam go on about how there's not been an Irish champion in X amount of time. I want to change that. I want to bring the title back to the Irish wrestling scene. You're sitting there and you're going, this guy's right. This
Yeah,
guy's right.
yeah,
Fuck O'Mary.
yeah, yeah. It changed everything, absolutely everything. But it was just so interesting to sit down and talk with him as well, and get like his thoughts on how everything was going. And especially, I think we got him at that perfect time on the lead up to Scrapper, because I think if we got him after Scrapper, it would have been a different conversation.
Oh yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? So yeah, for me, it was a tough one. It was a tough one to go through, just because of the mentality he had. Nothing wrong with it, by the way. Absolutely love Sam. I'm like one of his biggest fans. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm one of his biggest fans. Um, but I just for me while doing it, it was tough. But yeah, you are 100% right. It did bring that different. It showed why he should be our world champion and is our world champion.
At the time, he wasn't. Should we tell the Emmett story that we thought was going to fuck up everything for us?
Go on, go on.
So, what time was this been? Was this been Undisputed?
Yes.
This would have been around Undisputed time. The show just ended, and Sam was downstairs in Dolan's at the bar, sitting by himself, and Mr. fucking, oh no, I won't drink for this show. No, 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 no.
We
I'll
should
be.
definitely record early
Uh,
Saturday morning.
I definitely now won't fucking be drinking for this. Emmett went to Hard Knocks and, as usual, had his few drinks, and was chatting downstairs with one of his mates and spotted Sam. And started chatting with Sam and kind of like ribbing him, we'll say. So Emmett turned around to him at one point and go, because I'd already asked Sam at the intermission, like, hey, could we get you on the podcast? And he was like, yeah, 100%. Look, I'm free this week, as not this week, but I'm free at this time for a whole week. Let's do it then. Perfect. Let's do it. Um, Emmett, even though I told him, started to ask Sam to be on the podcast, but not in a way that I would ask. Be all professional and shit. Emmett walked up to Sam and goes, man, would you stop being so fucking gay and come on the 5Marks? Like, come on. Oh. And Sam was like, yeah, no, look, I'm going to come on, I agreed with one of the other lads. He goes, oh, that's great. So Emmett tells me this in the car right back, and I go, Emmett, if you have fucked this up now because you were pissed and I had Sam, I will grab you and throw you out of this car. Luckily he didn't, but I have never been so panicked that he might have fucked up an interview opportunity so much in my life.
I wonder if Sam joined onto the call that day and saw him, that they would have been like, nah, this isn't for me.
Here, lads, I'm out.
Yeah, do you know, that kind of way. But yeah, no, it was really really fun and a great interview. I'd love to have Sam on again, actually talk to him now after the year that he's had since
2024,
which would have been incredible. But that's also the reason why you don't see him on the podcast that much anymore. But Danny Cross.
oh my god, we've told this story so many fucking times. Joe, I've always told the story. You tell the story.
Yeah, so like as Baron mentioned a couple of minutes ago with the Terry thing, we always ask guests one or two questions before we even push record, just to like make sure that we have everything. One of them is if there any time constraints, right? So normally people are like, look,
Nah, grand. Yeah.
we have like, or normally people are like, no, I'm grand, or like, look, I have maybe an hour. Or sometimes you're like, maybe I have an hour and a half. Do you know, that kind of way, if we could like leave it in with that kind of time, fine, whatever. Danny goes to us when we joined. I'm going to call him Jay. I can't call him Danny Cross. Jay said to us when we joined on, he was like, look, I have probably about an hour. So if we can keep it in around that kind of mark, we'll be absolutely fine. And look, we always try to be respectful. Sometimes we go a little over, but we always try to leave it in around the time or even a little bit before. With Jay ended up talking so much that it went to about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, and it just kind of kept flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. Um, we've all said it before, and I want to say this about everybody on the list. He's one of the nicest guys
So
you'll ever
nice.
meet
Yeah.
in any walk of life, whether it be wrestling, any sport, any this, any that. He's so nice. I can't say enough things about Jay Danny Cross.
The fact is, well, like when we asked him at homecoming, was like, I went up, we went up, was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, listen, I'm Martin from the 5Marks. He cut me off. You're from the 5Marks, lads. I listen to you all the time. Can I come on? The two of us there.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this lad doing listening to us? Like these fucking gobshites going on about fucking wrestling. And then like we just like a Hard Knock show came up then as well, and like we got to chat to him so much before doing the interview that like it was honest to God the easy, like a lot of them were super easy, but this one was just like there was no preparation to be done.
No, not at all. The only way I can describe it is if on a Friday or Saturday night you go down to your local pub with three or four of your mates and you're just sitting down having a bit of banter over a few pints. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was the most easiest, relaxed interview that we've ever done.
Yeah. 100%. Like it was literally just like chatting. Like what I always try to go for the podcast is just chatting, having a chat with your mates, and that was like fucking Jesus Christ, cousin Jay's come down. Let's all go down to the fucking bar and have a drink and catch up. Like that's 100% what it felt like.
Excellent. Like, and even what I will say as well, slightly peel back the curtain, is those interviews that we do at like Hard Knocks and stuff like that. Sometimes we'll go up to the lads and we'll be like, look, is it all right if I like? This was before he's matched with Kenta. And I asked him, I was like, look, is it all right if I do a little thing and ask you about your match with Kenta? He was like, yeah, sure. Why not? 100%, let's do it. No, like, I'm not sure. Maybe I have to ask this person first or ask this. Yeah, it's like, yeah, let's do it. Sure.
He's super easy. Even like fucking after hard luck the match with fucking Steve, my sister who does all our camera work. You can check her out on Instagram, Des Shots. Um, turned around to him. She's a weirdo when it comes to like blood. Like when wrestling, if she went like she'd be a deathmatch person. She loves when wrestlers fucking just start pumping. Sees his cover like his shirt covered in fucking blood. Can I have your shirt? Yeah, here. Takes off his shirt. There you go. It's
Yeah.
like I paid for that fucking Mikey shirt, and she gets a free one covered in blood. The fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Like
Even as
he's
well as that, like I don't mind telling this story. I hope the lads don't mind me telling this story either. You would have seen it on Instagram anyway, most people. But like obviously all the wrestlers have their own merch. And I don't know where to get the merch done, who designs them, who prints them, anything like that. But he even reached out to the Dropkick lads to get that shirt designed. So like to reach out to fans
yeah.
and be like, look, I want you to involved, I want you to like do this for me is phenomenal.
Oh, he's
Phenomenal.
he's super nice. Every time we fucking see him, like Jesus Christ, we're spending about fucking 20 minutes now talking about him stuff
Literally,
again.
I could spend 2 hours
He's
talking about
so
him.
fucking nice when like to
Yeah.
us, and like I always like when I see Jay, I'm like I'm gonna go have a chat with Jay now, because he's just super fucking chill. He's super fucking nice. Um, I'll tell one story and then we'll leave it there, because at the last OTT show, the ninth year, obviously he dropped the t-shirts. My sisters went up and got a t-shirt, and he only had Revolut or cash because he didn't have the card machine yet. So I was at the time was the only person at Revolut in my family, and they're like, "Oh, Martin has Revolut. He'll pay for it." I still had to go up to Jay myself and get the 8x10. I wanted the 8x10 just to have it, and I walk up. I haven't said a word yet, and Jay just shows me his wrist, and he's got Martin written on his wrist, and I'm like, "What? Why is my name on your wrist?" Oh, your sisters were here not long ago and said that you have to buy their t-shirt. I went, "You're joking, right?" He goes, "No, no, your sisters were here and they said you're going to pay for the t-shirt." I said, "I don't have any. I have the tenner I'm about to give you right now for that 8x10, and that's it." And he goes, oh shit, what the fuck's he? He starts laughing. He goes, mate, I'm fucking at your grand. I'm only fucking pulling your leg." Uh, I said, "Did they pay for the shirt?" He goes, "No, they said you would." I was like, "At Hard Knocks, I'll get you the fucking money for the shirt. They shouldn't have done that, because I told them beforehand, I've no money in my Revolut today. Don't fucking go spending Revolut money." Because I think we just had RCW, and like my sisters bought a fucking Aniha Vaughan shirt, Mark Andrews merch, so like my Revolut was fucking skint.
Brilliant.
Um, and just like he was just like, "Yeah, no problem at all," because he's like his him and Sam are super fucking sound when it comes to. I've never had to do it with any other people, because like I've like never not had the money for anybody. But even like Sam, if he doesn't have, if I give him 30, he'll have a fiver. I'll give it you at the next show, and he does. "Sam, I don't have the extra 10 for the polo. I'll give it you at the next show." 100%, no problem. And no, I've never failed in giving them the money. So like just like the two of them just be sound like that was just like I
Genuinely
just
nice
love the
guys, man.
lads, love the
Genuinely
lads.
nice
And
guys.
then I just say as well, we were supposed to have Adam Maxton on this year. We had a date secured, but he forgot he was booked for Road to Scrapper, so fell through it then, and we had another date, which then we got caught for something. I think it was me. I think I got called into work, so I couldn't do it because he wanted an early one because he'd go somewhere. So then, when it came time to do the third rearranging, he got he had lost his passport at that point and was stuck in where was he again?
Spain. I don't know where in Spain, but
It
Spain.
starts from them anyways, Marbella or something like that. He was stuck there, so couldn't do it. So hopefully 2024 is the year and we get Al Maxi, because he does what he wants to come on and he has listened. So we will have him on. I can't
He's
wait
on
for
the
it.
list. He's
And then
on the list. He's on the
Ch-
2024 list.
Charlie Sterling, I'm getting Charlie Sterling on. I need Charlie Sterling on.
gonna be a battle, but we'll try. We'll try it. Next up on the list, and this was actually, I think it was the first time we ever interviewed someone as with the three of us, and it was one of my actual favorite interviews. I never laughed, I think, so much during an interview, bar the two that we just did. Renzo Rose.
Oh, brilliant! Oh my god, that was like just the alcohol comment had me
Yeah,
fucking dying.
yeah,
That one
yeah,
was one we were trying to get for ages, and when we finally got it, I was like, okay, this is either going to be like he's going to absolutely hate us or he's going to absolutely love us. And luckily, we got the love us part. Um, yeah, I think at that point it was coming up to the tag tournament or something like that, and we'd asked him about like Sem, and oh Jesus Christ, when he was like, "This is alcohol. This is alcohol. You could drink this and it's nice. You can't drink this and it's shit."
yeah. Brilliant. So good.
I need to go back and watch it because I'm fully sure I was trying not to laugh. Um, but even just to hear his story about wrestling in Italy and stuff like that, and the fact that he was supposed to, he never planned, like he originally didn't plan to come here. He planned to go to the UK, and just him and Zarkov changed their mind, came to Ireland, and just the success he has now is just brilliant. I can't wait to have him come back on. He's agreed to come back on to chat more about wrestling in Italy. And obviously, we have a lot more to talk about now with a former GN champion and now NLW and Hard Knocks All Ireland champion.
Yeah, super fun episode. I think it was that thing where he talked about his time in Italy, wrestling in Italy, and how he started off, and then he's moved to Ireland. I think it made me like appreciate him a lot more. I knew how good, I know everyone knows how good Renzo Rose is.
Yeah,
Everybody does. As in, like if NXT UK or Europe or whatever it is started up tomorrow, Renzo Rose is one of the first people on the
has to be.
list. Do you know that kind of way? He's that good. But I think listening to that and how he started wrestling in Italy to where he is now, and he's just his mentality about wrestling, about how he wants to be the best was just it was phenomenal to hear. It was an incredible interview. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Next one, and I you're not going to be able to talk a lot about this. LJ Cleary.
Oh yeah, I can. I was the one that organised
That's true,
it.
actually. Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
working that day, so couldn't do it. So I could talk about organising. You could talk about like actually doing it. That was like when that email came in was the biggest. Holy
Okay,
shit!
can we work here for a second? Because we sent this email. This email was sent probably in like
3 months beforehand.
January, February, give or take, and I think he got back to us around March, April.
Um, yes, March.
Yeah, so like there was like a good 6 week wait there before without any response. But go on.
But yeah, so we got an email back being like, "Hell yeah, I'd love to do it." And I remember sending to the group chat to the lads, like, "Lads, we've got an interview, and you're not going to believe it." And sent it in, and the biggest LJ Cleary mark there is went absolutely ballistic. Didn't you, Carmo?
I did. I very much did. Yeah, yeah. Huge LJ Cleary mark. Um, yeah, it's probably my favorite interview we've ever done. And I say I can pretty much say that I've ever done. Because unfortunately Emmett was there for about an hour and like got like 3 minutes at the start and about 5 minutes at the end. But just incredible. And again, it was one of those situations. I think we got about an hour with him. I think the actual interview was about 58 minutes, 59 minutes, give or take.
Roughly, yeah.
Um, I could have stayed chatting to him for a week. Honest to God, probably about a week. And he's someone that like I've talked to nearly at every show, and he's just so nice. And to see what he's doing now currently in Japan as well, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. But yeah, one of my favorite interviews to do. Like I think we recorded it on like I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So again, you're not long fresh up out of bed, and you're just right bang. Here's your interview. So I had no time to kind of like I had all my preparation done, but I had no time to kind of like I don't know what I nearly psych myself or like get nervous for it, and then it was just like bang, and it was incredible. I do have a question for you, which is kind of it's based off the interviews as well. So there's two interviews that I haven't done. One was Boots and one was Demi Corbin, which I've now done the Boots one. There's one interview that you never did, which was LJ Cleary. Do you wish you got to
Oh,
do the LJ Cleary one?
of course I do. 100%. Especially now. With like, I hope to God, please, LJ Cleary, come back on the podcast. We'd love to have you back on.
I'd very much love to have you back on.
Yeah, like I've gotten to chat to LJ at all the shows and stuff like that, but it's different when you're on the podcast because that's when you get to sit down and ask him like proper wrestling questions and just be a mark. You know,
Yeah,
at the shows, I treat the lads. I hope it comes across. I treat the lads like they're actual fucking human beings. You know, like how you do and how you know. Um. So yeah, I could say I was very nervous. I was in work that day, and I was texting these lads galore, like make sure it goes grand, make sure it goes grand. I was like, oh, I hope these lads tell me this goes fucking great and this goes grand because I think this is the first time I wasn't there for an interview, and I was so used
it would
to
have been the first one. Yeah,
I was
yeah,
so used to I'm there. I can I know if it's going good, if it's going bad. So yeah, 100%. I wish I got to chat to LJ Cleary. I do feel like we'll get him back on. And
I hope
like
so.
when we do, it'll be such a good talk to talk about Japan and stuff like that. Um,
Absolutely. How was it listening back to that interview then? Because that was obviously your first interview that you weren't there. So
you
like we
did
obviously,
brilliant, Carmo. Well
thank you,
done,
thank you, thank
Carmo.
you. I just wanted that said phrase. But like even still, because like all our interviews are saved obviously, and we have them before we actually upload them because we have to edit them and whatever else. But like I think you went back. I believe you were on your lunch break
Yeah, and
when you went to
I was like,
backstage, and you went straight into the interview.
yeah, I was on my lunch. I had an hour lunch, and I got to listen to the interview. I was like, okay, it went all right. But like, I think the first thing I noticed was like, Emma, have you ever done an interview before? Like, he has from the depths. He does interviews. He's like, oh, I just let Carmo go. I just let Carmo do his thing. I came in, and then there was one point in the interview as well, just to ask him, does he prefer to be a face or a heel?
Takes like 30
It
minutes.
took him fucking. I think I counted it was like two minutes. It was 2 minutes 40 something seconds, and I was like, Emmett, how did you like start the question, have an entire middle from this question, and then to end on, do you prefer being a heel or a face? I said that's like 2 minutes of where Karma could have been like, so LJ, what's your dream match?
Yeah, that's why I didn't let Emma talk much during that. I didn't actually decide to not let Emma talk during much that interview. It's just it happens with us. I think it happened with Skylar recently enough, where one of us will get into a bit of a flow of asking questions or on a certain topic, and it'll just keep going and going and going. And with LJ, that's what happened. I think even if it was me and you, I think I would have just kept going and going and
Oh
going
yeah,
and going and going because I was so ready for it. I
can I
don't think I've
tell
ever done as much research for an interview as I have for that one.
can I tell you a story that I've never told you with the original plan for the interview?
Go on.
We were never going to tell you,
Okay.
but I had just given you the 5Marks email address, so I was like, okay, there's no hiding this.
Yeah.
The
Okay. Yeah.
original plan was LJ comes on and we just tell you we're going to record a time, be there. But I was going to give you a false time so that we could start the episode and have you join about 2 3 minutes in and just get the reaction of you going,
Yeah, it would have been really really cool. Would have been really really cool. But I can tell you now for certain, I wouldn't have asked a single question because I would not have been ready. Not at all. Not I wouldn't have never been ready.
that was the original plan, was to get LJ and surprise you, but I literally just given you the email address. I was like, yeah, I can't hide it from him. He'll
Yeah,
see
no,
the email. He'll be like, oh, we've got LJ.
yeah, no. That would have been really really cool. That actually would have been really really nice. But no, it would have been. I can't say it would have been a terrible interview because you would have been there. But it would I like my performance in that interview would have been terrible. I would have not have asked. I'd have probably asked one question about maybe Matt Cardona, and that was about it. I'd have asked the thing.
But you didn't. You did a good job.
Thankfully, yeah, and it was really really fun, really really fun. The last person that we have interviewed that is on this list is the Sam.
Like, honest to God. And I said
This
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 in
is where
so
we
many
talk for like a
episodes.
half an hour on just
Yeah,
on one person.
favorite
Yeah,
episode. I like we're gonna do our favorite stuff and stuff like that.
I believe it's our
Part
first episode of the new
Partially on
year.
this episode, but majorly on the first
Yeah.
episode of 2024. But like I've said so many times this year, it's my favorite interview. Like I fucking love the dude. He's so nice. Um, Crazy that we got him at a time when he was just starting, and then we kind of got him again at a point where he was, just getting there. And the next one now, like we literally have the story of Sam, like that we could do, his beginning, his middle, and his fucking getting to his first title. Um, I don't want to say any more because I know this is gonna be my answer for 2-3 weeks time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like just such a special episode. Go watch it.
I
Go listen
think
to it.
I think a lot of this episode, and I think a certain bit of the next episode that we do, which will be in the new year, will be a lot of thank yous. But I think out of everybody that we can thank you, that's either on this list or isn't, or that we've interviewed, or even people that we haven't interviewed and just met at shows, nobody gets a bigger thank you than Sen.
Also, cheers,
Nobody.
Sam, for coming on the second time and giving us our longest episode to date of 2 hours and 10 minutes.
He went on a streak there for like 2 weeks, didn't he? He went on for like really, really long episodes.
No, so
Um,
we had for a long time. It was Dennis Murphy's Sexy Waistcoat had the
yeah,
longest
yeah.
time for fucking ages. Let me get it here. It was an hour and 40 minutes. And then Simon Hill came on, and Simon got it of an hour 50 minutes. He had it for a week, and Sam came in to 2 hours and 10 minutes.
What was the episode after that though? Didn't he go on it for like a really long time after?
It was no, we had Bullet Smith, and then we had Joe Cabray for Jesus Christ, maybe beat it with Joe Cabray because I'm nearly halfway through this and there's still an hour and 12 minutes left. So don't quote me. I will have all that for the first episode of the year.
But yeah, look, we'll save a lot of like we could like genuinely. I think we both could
But not
spend
to
like an hour
downplay it
here.
here, like it's my
Talk about
favorite
Sam.
episode. He's my favorite person because of so much he's done for us. And if you haven't listened to either of the episodes we did with Sam, honest to God, they're my favorite episodes. Go check him out because like he opened up so much in that first one that made more people open up. So I feel like
Yeah,
that's where people thought like, okay, these guys aren't like out to get anything or anything like that. They're just sitting chatting to mates.
yeah, 100%. And I think if you love Sam as it is, which I think nearly every Irish wrestling fan does, if you listen to that episode, you just
You love him
not
more.
even love him more, but just appreciate him more.
Yeah.
Like he's such a lovable guy, such a lovable guy. But look, I'll go into the last. There's three names here that we haven't interviewed, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say those three names. Two of them we had set up, but just because of timing and different things, it just didn't happen. Which happens. It happens.
It
And
happens,
there's a
yeah.
couple of more names on top of that as well. That, like as you mentioned, Adam Maxton. One of those names is Session Mott Martina.
Yes. She
It's a
was
name that we so badly want on the episode in
Martina
2025.
was supposed to come on in May. As part she was supposed to be the final episode in our mental health awareness month. But she was was she in the UK or somewhere or Dubai or something like that?
I think so.
She was
Yeah.
away, so she just apologized. I can't do it. So it was like, yeah, no, it's no problem. And she's not like as you're gonna say another person now who just time it happens. Just
Yeah.
time like we just get busy. Like it's happened with us, as we said what Adam Max did. We're like you just have to reschedule. Like it's happened with other people as well. That like we were supposed to have Butch Armstrong on. We were supposed to have Anita Vaughan on. There's definitely people I'm forgetting that we were supposed
I
to
think
have
we had
on.
something set up with Martin Steers at one stage as well, but that fell through. I could be wrong.
Possibly because I
Owen Richards.
we had one with Owen Richards.
Yeah.
Which that again, it's just like it times don't meet sometimes. Like we got very lucky. Not even lucky. Like we were on a great streak for a long time, but just, it happens. Like all we do is like, okay, it's not gonna happen now, but it will happen later. Like
Yeah.
we will come back to this when we have the time for it.
Absolutely. 100%. The other name on that list is Steve Savage.
Please, Steve. I want to pick his brain so much. He's such a brain for wrestling, but he's one of the busiest wrestlers because he's constantly flying back and forth, back and forth. Oh my god, I want that. That's been my one episode. I listened to one episode of him with WrestleSlam before the first Hard Knock show, and his brain for wrestling is unbelievable. I just give me an hour and a half, kick Carmo off the fucking call, and just give me Steve Savage for an hour and a half, and I'd be the happiest person because he's such a fucking mind for wrestling.
Me and Steve are best friends, so you're not kicking me. We're actually not best friends. I'm deadly afraid of Steve Savage. And I spent a lot of time in his presence, and I'm no scary man, but he's actually a gent. But yeah, that's I think considering that we have that space that we can use, I think it's the one interview for next year that if we were to do like a sit down in person one, that's the one that I want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
100%.
one.
100%. Like, because I've listened to the interview he did with Wrestling, as I said. He did one with
He did one with the IWE, I think, as well, didn't he?
possibly, maybe,
I think he
maybe
did.
I
I
might
think he
because
did one with Colin.
he did one with I think his name is Daniel Bryan. He does a kind of sports podcast. It's not wrestling, it's sports. And he's someone who just happened to be walking past the school, saw it, was like, "What the fuck is this?" Sat down with Steve, because Steve was just happened to be at the school, and he was like, "Can I do like an interview quickly?" Steve had nothing on. It was literally in the moment thing. Talked about the school, promoted school, and again, it was just listening to his wrestling mind is just unbelievable. So I want Steve Savage on so fucking bad because like I talk about fucking like if I was to put like my three I want three people I want on the podcast desperately: FTR, the name that you'll say next, which was our very far reach, which I probably could have done, and Steve Savage.
Yeah, three good names to be fair. That last name is Chris Van Vliet.
Please, he is such a huge inspiration. Like, he's the major inspiration for me in Irish interviews and Irish in podcasting and wrestling interviews. I've like gotten to chat to him in the DMs on Instagram like many fucking times, and he's such a fucking nice guy. I just have never asked. I've never asked a question.
Yeah,
I've said thank you so much many times for like one, like you're fucking chatting to me, which is crazy, and two, for like being the inspiration for my podcast about Irish wrestling, on our podcast.
yeah.
Uh,
Or
just,
I am the integral glue to this whole thing,
um,
as I say while looking out my window.
like he's a massive inspiration for the podcast and the way I want us to do it and us to conduct it. So like to have him on would just be he is number two. It's FTR, Chris Van Vliet, Steve Savage.
That's a good list. I'm gonna go through mine here at the end of the episode. I'm gonna start listing off other names that we have interviewed that weren't on that list, but were no means people that we like. These are people that we badly wanted on the podcast. We just didn't expect it either. Keane Noonan,
Oh my god, what a guy! Like
absolutely love Keane
the
Noonan.
dark horse of Irish wrestling. Just his actual passion for wrestling comes across in that so much as well. And then to hear like how one day it just clicked in his head, like I want to do this. I gotta get jacked, and I gotta get training.
Yeah,
It's an incredible story.
it's unbelievable. A person who's been again another person who is a big person to thank for anything that the podcast has ever or has done is Matthew Bullet Smith.
Love him. As I said earlier on, people opening up more because of the Seven review. He was one of them. He has such an inspirational story that like fuck like that's one another one like Sam you have to listen to because of the story he talks about at the end, as well listen to the mental health one we did with him as well, because like he's such a nice dude. I've one like embarrassing story with him as well. We're at Wrestorama. I've told this Carmo. I'm not wearing my glasses right now, But like I wear glasses now because after COVID I went fucking blind. Like literally, like I'm looking at my screen here and a lot of the letters are fucking like there's I can see doubles. But I can't see long distance. So I'm walking back from the bathroom and I hear, what's up, Martin? I don't know who the fuck that is. So I'm like, oh hey. So Matthew starts walking closer to me. I start to recognize, like, the face starts to come into my eyes, and I just go, "Oh Jesus Christ, Matthew, it's you!" Oh, I honest to God, I was so fucking embarrassed because I was like, "Oh my God!" I pretty much just was like, "Oh hey," like as if I didn't know the fucking Matthew, because I just could not see him. Um, I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry." I was like, I wasn't wearing glasses at this stage. It's like I'm blind as shit. He goes, "You're all right. You're all right." I was like, "No, seriously. I feel like an absolute gobshite." So he's a dickhead. Like, oh my God, them social media
Yeah.
guys are terrible pricks.
Why are we even talking about him? But no, yeah. But speaking of even which, like even at the Hard Knocks interviews and stuff like that, himself and Sean Guinness Maxer, like have been incredible to us. They'll
Oh yeah,
always come up to us. They'll always do an interview. They'll never be like, Joe. And look, we get like they'll never like, no, I don't want to talk to you, or no, Joe, no this or whatever. Like, yeah, we'll do it there for like 2 seconds. Ask us one question, but they've always been like, yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Yeah, let's roll with it.
there's one
Let's
story I
do
wish I could tell. I'm not telling it, but it's fucking hilarious. I don't know if
it.
you know the story, but I'll talk to you after.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I do. Dennis Murphy, Mr. Sexy Waistcoat.
I need to have him on again for just literally talking about games.
I think I'd gladly let that just be the two of you because yeah, he talks so much in that, and I hadn't a clue
I'd
what
like
he was
to
talking
just
about.
tell people as well, alright? That episode is an hour and 40 minutes long. We spoke to Dennis Murphy for about two and a
Two
half,
and a
three
half hours.
hours.
Yeah,
We ended the episode and we just sat there chatting absolute shit. He's so nice. Like as I said, I want to have Dennis Murphy back on and Matt Schuyler, to simply talk about collecting games, everything, being
100%.
nerds.
Yeah, great interview though. I really enjoyed that one. Again, another person that I like. I don't know. I never expected to kind of get on, just because I was like, Joe, he's a big ring announcer. Like I never expected to get anybody on. To be fair, but he was another one. Another person that I definitely did not expect to get on the first year. Angus McNally.
I'm good, haven't I? We're getting these names.
Hey, look, I'm just good at doing
Very
interviews.
different. Everyone's been kind of talking about themselves and how they got into the business. Angus was like purely behind the scenes, which was
I think what was cool was like he was a fan
yeah.
who ended up just making his way through. Do you know that kind of way, which is kind of like us talking about it, or like we'll say people listen to this podcast or anything like that, like which I think just brought that extra, I don't know, interesting element to it, which I don't know, just added to that interview itself. Like,
100%. Like it's if you're someone like this is probably Emmett's favorite episode because Emmett is like he very much loves hearing about behind the scenes and just different aspects of wrestling rather than like the training, the wrestling, making the story and stuff like that. He prefers the behind the scenes stuff. So if you're someone who's exactly like that, this is like that's an episode for you.
speaking of big interviews, big demo.
So said I'm good, haven't I? Big fucking demo. Who thought we'd get that one?
No, no one,
Like
no one.
what a dude. That was so much fun to do. Again, another one where I was extremely nervous, but super fun. Getting to talk like you're getting to talk to Killian Dane. Do you know? Fucking Sanity's big demo. Like it was just I want to say like a starstruck moment, but you really were. One to get him to rib Emmett was brilliant. Uh,
100%. Yeah,
and then to like just hear like about NXT UK Dublin and what could have been was just like no.
yeah, incredible. Sorry, I'm scrolling through because I kind of realizing what kind of time we're at. And unfortunately probably don't have time for
No, we
everybody.
no we look. This is our last episode. We're going all the way.
Okay, okay. Next one on the list anyway is Simon Hill.
That one. Talk about fucking not expecting. So I wanted Simon Hill for so long, but I thought we're not at that level yet for Simon Hill. And Simon listened and heard the Angus McAnally episode and reached out to us and asked, "Hey, I just got done listening to your Angus McAnally episode. I'd love to come on the podcast and kind of talk the same type of thing and just talk about me." Which I would like when I got that DM on fucking Twitter. I was like, "Holy shit, yes! You're actually someone I wanted on for so long, but just never thought like I don't. I just never thought we'd get that." And then like I remember for ages just like being like I feel like I know Simon Hill. I feel like I've met Simon Hill, and then just to get that chance to ask him, he was going on about gaming conventions. Like, was that AGX in 20 whatever it was? Yeah, I have a photo of me and you at the convention, and I remember fucking and chatting to him and fucking having fun with him. Because I spent a lot of time at the 2K thing because I was I uh, I knew what's his name, fucking Someone Got Barbecue, and then I had Harry 10, who's my mate, who was also there as part of the 2K event, and just like hanging with fucking Mark and chatting to Simon. I was like, holy shit, I've known fucking Simon for all that time, and like that's why I fucking was like, that's why I know you. That's why I recognize your face. So yeah, long-winded answer, but like it was super cool, super cool.
Really, really
Simon,
fun.
come back
Yeah,
on
yeah.
again.
It was one that I felt like I could have just left it to the two of you.
Yeah,
Like I had those couple of kind of wrestling questions, but I think I watching the two of you do that interview. It's kind of like me and the LJ Cleary one. The two of you just flowed for that whole thing. It was great, great to even listen to. Um, good friend of the podcast, soon to probably take over for an episode. Luke Barry.
oh, he's so nice. I love Luke. Like I got to say like goodbye to him yesterday and all that. And he invited me out for Christmas dinner. I said only if he was
What's
cooking.
my invite?
Get on my level. No,
Oh,
it was a 5 Marks. It was a 5 Marks invite. I said only if he's cooking. He laughed and goes, only if it'll only be fucking toast you're getting then for Christmas dinner.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it was one I wasn't expecting to get because like at that point we just like I was trying to like get some RCW guys on for ages and for Luke to be the first one and to get like to talk about Scott Hall's story, to hear about the injury, his comeback, and all that. Like, just hear the story because like we're super new to all this. Well, I am. I'm super new to Irish wrestling, and to
We
hear
both are.
Luke Barry's story of like how he started with the Armstrongs, his injury, coming back, the launch of Phoenix and RCW was just super fucking cool, and I'm so happy that he is going to be inducted into the Cork Wrestling Hall of Fame because he deserves it. Fucking deserves it.
Absolutely, 100% agree. I think it's an interview that if we did now, we'd have a lot more to talk about.
Oh yeah,
Having to got to know Luke through the shows and learn more about his career and stuff like that. I think it's something that we could definitely talk a lot more of. But it genuinely couldn't be the nicer person. An
100%.
absolute gent.
100%.
Absolute gent. One I can't really talk about, Damien Corvin.
Uh, couldn't believe I got that one. Could not believe it. Corvin was just God, that one's just crazy to think about because I had asked Corvin a few times, and I think it was like one time in like fucking June. He got back to me and was like, "Hell yeah, I'd love to come on. Let's do it." And again, like I love Kings of the North. Emmett has been going back watching old Irish wrestling stuff, so he got to really bring in some questions there for Corvin to talk about. But just to hear his kind of story, how he started, how he was once the scrawny guy going into fucking wrestling school, and how that's like changed around now, how he has like a different perspective on wrestling now, um, like he's a scary dude, but he's such a down to earth, just fucking like just a sound guy, like such a sound guy.
It's one that I wish I did, but I felt like at the time it was perfect for yourself and Emmett, just because some of my favorite interviews are people who've been wrestling for quite a while and have been involved in the industry and been about the industry and stuff like that. Because I just find it so fascinating to be able to go back to then and even compare it to now,
Yeah,
to that kind of way, and how much different things are and stuff like that. which was really really cool. Even listening back to it, loved it. Thought it was excellent. Very very good interview.
This one's for you,
Um,
Francis Mercer.
oh, I love Francis Mercer. Francis Mercer is one of my favorite people in Irish wrestling. If you were to ask me who is my favorite wrestler in Irish wrestling at the moment, and I think this is biased because I've gotten to know him outside of wrestling, Francis Mercer. I seen what he did in that show, last Hard Knock show against Steve Savage, and unfortunately, if you weren't there, you missed it, and you're
Yep, you
never going
missed
to
it.
see it. And
He
you've
did a
missed an
crazy
absolute
like fucking
hilarious match.
swanton into a fucking shooting star press. Like, oh my god.
I wish he did, but like what that man can do in the ring versus what he's showing you he can do in the ring is levels apart. Like he is so good, so damn good, and I can't wait to see what 2024 has in store for Francis Mercer. And by the way, if Francis Mercer is not booked on more shows outside of Hard Knocks, it's an injustice. It's an injustice.
It's fair. I knew it was right to ask you that one.
Yeah, no. If you were to ask me about anyone, that's the one. Francis
So I
Mercer.
gotta ask you about this one because like it would be weird because I wasn't there. I was, but you know, Galacini, Axel Jarrett.
Love it. One of my, do you know what? It's a weird situation. So I'll curtain. Here's the curtain. I'll peel it back. Um, when we do the live interviews, for some reason I never prepare. So like when I have my notebook. This is actually my new notebook. Believe it or not, I'm not going to show you the front of it because it reveals the company that's on it. But this is my new notebook, and I have lists of every interview we've ever done. I don't know where my other one is at the moment. And I have my questions, my bullet points basically. But for some reason, for the live ones, I never did them. I don't know why. No idea why, but just never did them. So that's one that I felt like I could have done better. Which is why if you compare that one to even not the Francis Mercer one per se, but the ones that we did last 2 weeks, the levels apart,
Oh yeah,
levels apart. But I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Really, really enjoyed it. I'd love to actually have Axel on again because even since that interview, I've gotten to know Axel quite a bit more. Not per personal level. By the way, when I say know people, I haven't got to know him like personally. I've got to know him within wrestling. But he's so funny and he's so down to earth that like I want people to see that side of him. Here's one for you, the Bull, CBL.
another person that reached out to us. Not like not that like you know we weren't looking to get CBL on because we're looking to get fucking all of you on. Um, Crazy, but like God, I could listen to CBL talk all fucking day. He is such a proper farmer.
He literally is, yeah.
Like, I love listening to him talk, and obviously that was come up to one of his biggest shows, which was Fight Factory in Longford. So we got to talk about that, kind of promote that a bit for Mr. CBL, and got to talk about like his contenders debut. You know, like got to hear how much LJ Clary means to him and stuff like that. So that one was very very fun. Like I was honest to God, another one of those ones where like I found it super super easy because like he was one of the few ones where we got to sit back and just fucking listen to him chat.
Yeah, yeah, which was really really cool, and to see what he's done since that interview as well. Obviously, going to have to win the the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship, and I know he's unfortunately injured at the moment, which we'll actually find out tonight where that's going to go as we're recording this. Everyone will know by the
Actually,
time you
within the
listen
next
to this.
hour.
Yeah, absolutely. But like even as I said, at shows and stuff like that, if we're doing interviews, like he's always the first one there. Like anytime we've done interviews with Hard Knocks and he's been at the show, he's lining up ready to go for us, like, which is just incredible to see. And I like another person that I like have to be so thankful for what he's done for us and agreeing to come on and being so generous after that as well.
100%. And the fact that like not only that, but like whenever we do them live interviews, he's always one person. Like I don't think to this day we've asked him to like come up and do an interview at like Hard Knocks or something. He he literally sees he knows where we are. He comes over and he fucking has a chat.
Yeah, yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible. But look, we'll move on to someone who's been on the podcast more times than Emmett, and that is the owner of RCW,
Oh,
Mr. Billy Bedlam.
Billy Bedlam is so fucking like cool to talk to, and just like hear him talk about like wrestling and the ins and outs of RCW and stuff like that. We owe him a lot. We owe him a lot. We owe fucking Stephen Leon a lot. For like giving us like we have like a platform, but they like help make our platform bigger. It's like a we
Yeah,
help each other type of thing. And Billy Bedlam obviously has like been gracious to us with sorting out some things. Like if I hey Billy, I've got fucking six family members coming. Do you reckon you could hold us like just somewhere where they can sit with six people? Done. Hey, I know the show is like sold out, but you happen to have a ticket for Carmo. Done. And that was like that's the Carmel pays for his tickets and make sure
yeah,
that well.
yeah, yeah,
It was just
yeah,
he had spare tickets that he was going to hold on for people like family and stuff, and he goes, Carmel can have one of the tickets. So like he's been so fucking kind to us. Um, the fact as well, he's always so willing to just come on and just like it's like, hey Billy, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Nope. Ask me anything. I don't give a fuck. I will answer anything.
do you know what? I'll reveal something here, and I maybe shouldn't, but
Carmel and Billy
he
are
reached
married.
out to us last week about coming onto the podcast before yesterday's show,
Yeah.
and we just hadn't had the time. We were just so busy with other stuff going on, not necessarily to do with the podcast, but like nearly personal lives, that we just didn't have the time to get him on. But just for him to still reach out and be like, "Do you want to have a chat? Do you want to talk about the show?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, sure, let's do it. Go on,
Now we
sure."
had said
But
yes.
just
We had said
yeah,
yeah, we're
we
going to get
did.
it done, but just again talk about time not come together.
Yeah,
He was going up to Dublin on the one day that we could do it, on the one day that he could do it. Then like I wasn't home, so and at that point then it was just like like the show would have been like 2 days away. So it's like okay, it didn't make much sense then because it
yeah,
would take me
100%.
it would have been out the
But
Thursday.
I will say you will have Billy Bedlam back on this
Oh
podcast
yes.
in 2024 and more than once at that. Um,
God, that this one's for you, Jester.
just I can't do it right. Um, wow is the only word I can use to describe it because I think we like not long before this. I think probably about maybe a month, maybe before this, he showed up at Hard Knocks and we did an interview with him after the show, which I never expected. It just so happened that he was sitting with a bunch of the lads, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to try to come on?" He's like, I don't know what the fuck this is." He didn't say fuck, by the way, but he was like, "I don't know what this is, but sure, look, go on, let's do it." And then agreed to come on the podcast. That episode, I believe, is around about 2 hours. That could have been 4 days if we had the
It was
time.
2 minutes off 2 hours.
Yeah, that could have been a hell of a lot longer if we had the time. Just because he had such a long career, and there's so much stuff that we didn't get to talk about. Like he spent most of his career in Fight Factory, and we did not get to talk about Fight Factory.
Yeah.
That's how much of a career this man has had, and just how much like time and stories and everything. Even though he didn't really properly go into a lot of the stories, which I get, but just like it's so hard. I find it so hard to say this is my favorite episode. That's my favorite episode. This is my favorite. But like it's one of my favorite episodes because I just had so much fun while doing it. It was like sitting down and opening a book on Irish wrestling history and having it been read out loud to you. Do you know that kind of way? That's what it felt like while doing it. And that might be
This
like
episode is
very
sponsored by Audible.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not.
That might be very like I don't know, like an earlier cringe thing to say, but that's the way it felt like. And it was great, fantastic. I can't put it into words how good that interview was.
The Mad Dog, Con Kelly.
Fun,
Very
really,
fun,
really
wasn't it?
fun. Yeah, really, really fun. I enjoyed that one. Um, very much kind of like the CBL one in a lot of ways. A lot of kind of stories and a lot of kind of just sitting back and letting him talk. And then to get what we got out of it at the end as well was just incredible. Unfortunately, the match didn't happen. Kong got injured, and there was an issue with Steve at the same show. But incredible fun, incredibly fun.
Then we had Rob on.
Look, I like Rob. I like Rob. Rob's a good guy. Rob has my back. I don't have Rob's back.
He
because I
does.
can't.
Robbie Mack does not have your back. He will. Fair, he will look to attack me with the chair. The other one, but
Yeah, do you know what? When you see the interview coming out from the last Hard Knock show with that big, absolute burly bastard, Chris Connolly, yeah, I'm not
okay,
going to
yeah,
say
he's got
anymore.
your back. He's got your back.
Yeah, I'm not saying anymore.
Then we have two more. So this one was interesting. It was interesting because of how it ended. Reardon O'Connor.
Walking. That's all there is to be said.
It was a great interview. Like really, like I don't think we've chatted wrestling with someone to such detail before ever.
Yeah, do you know? Like I will admit, like to talk. I always differentiated that it's like American wrestling now instead of calling it like WWE, AEW, Universal Irish Wrestling. To talk American wrestling with one of the guys, this is probably the most in depth we've gone, and it was so much fun. And then he decided to be a prick.
And then this one actually is again, that's the like I really enjoyed this one was the Matt Scarlett one because again was kind of really going in depth in wrestling, but then like a bit like the Dennis Murphy, like the nerd side comes out of me, like you guys heard at the beginning, like you're a collector, I'm a collector, let's talk about collecting, and like I was like, yeah, that's gonna have to be a whole fucking different episode. So really really cool dude who you know he's a big fan of the podcast. He actually was asking for a long time to come onto the podcast, but again, timing and stuff like that worked out perfect there. Um, like I felt so bad because again, we went from Matt Schuyler to the sit down at Hard Knocks. So like I literally we got done the Matt Schuyler episode. I edited that episode like video, audio, all was done that night, and we recorded at like 7 o'clock, and we're finished at like fucking
I think we finished
half
around
eight,
9ish.
yeah, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I literally went from that to editing that. Had it all uploaded, scheduled, everything. Went to bed about midnight, maybe a bit later, like maybe like half 12. Got up then first thing in the morning at like 9 o'clock ish. Got to Hard Knocks for about half 11. Was out in the freezing cold for fucking God knows how many hours, and literally woke up next day sick, like had a flu. So I had no time to make like the promo things that you guys see me put up. I don't even have one for today's one. I actually think of it now. Shit, did they make one? But I felt so bad. It's like I didn't want him to. Like I said this to him last night. I was like, I was so sick in bed. Like even when to do the Hard Knocks episode, I had to pull myself out of bed to edit that. And he was like, "Mate, you're fine. I saw the video you put up, being like, you know, the episode's coming and all that." And I said, "You look like death." I was like, I fucking felt like death. Um, but like he's such a cool dude, such a nice dude that like I can't wait to have him on again tonight. I said this to him. You're coming on again, and we're comparing our fucking collectible stuff.
Do you know what? There's episodes that we do where we talk about it beforehand, and this is no slight on anybody. Whereas we always kind of like before we even kind of nearly invite him into the call or whatever, we're always like, this is probably going to be about an hour. I don't kind of see it more much longer, or maybe it'll be like, oh, this might be this is going to be a long episode. This is probably going to be like a 2 hour episode. But with the Matt Skyler one, I think we both kind of thought like, oh, this is probably going to be about an hour. And then he joined the call, and we always spend probably like 5 minutes chatting to the person before we even start. And from those 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about Matt Skyler as well. Like, and he again another guy who's super, super nice, super, super nice.
Like we had a list of what 10 people, and we fucking did about 30,
We did a
40
lot of
interviews.
interviews. There, let me count them. You're talking about something now.
Like, I remember when me and Emma were discussing one day in work like what we're gonna do about interviews. I was there like we'll do like one a month, and then we did the road to Scrappermania, which was like 2 months straight of interviews. So like what 8 interviews in a row, something like that, 7. Then to have everyone else that we've had on before. It's been a crazy ass fucking year for us, and we're grateful for everyone that came on. We cannot wait for all the people that are going to come on in 2024. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fucking fun.
31 interviews in 2024. And that doesn't include like Hard Knocks interviews, RCW interviews,
Yeah.
31 interviews. Actually, scratch that. 33 interviews because it doesn't include the two that have already gone out the last 2 weeks. 33 interviews in
Can I
2024.
be honest with you for a
2023.
second? Right? Because we started 2023 kind of going into Irish wrestling, like, because we just kind of really started to watch it. A year ago, when we sat down and did our end of 2022 episode, if I told you you would do 30 plus interviews, you would do countless interviews at shows, like,
I'd laughed at you. I'd have been like, there's no way. I'd have probably said, I think because last year we probably did 2 interviews. I think we did Foxy and Boots last year.
yeah,
I'd have probably said maybe 5 or 6 for the entire year. I would have never thought that we would have been doing interviews at shows. I
no.
would have never thought that I would have got to know some of the wrestlers, like out, like not on like a podcast or like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
interview or
outside
anything
of,
like that. Not in that sort of a scenario. Like to be driving people home from shows is kind of what I mean. Never would have thought it. Never ever would have thought it. I pinch myself every now and again to be like, okay, this is real. Like, you're almost waiting to wake up from that dream, and like it's a vivid dream. It's a long dream, but it's an incredible situation, and like to be where we are in the space of time that we are is what makes it even more incredible. Do you know that kind of way?
yeah,
Because like we said it when we started, we had the bones of 6 months where we posted shit content. I will say shit, and it was terrible. How we even kept going after some of those episodes in the first 6 months. Don't go back and listen to them, by the way.
please don't.
Is fascinating. But to see where we've come in a year and a half, because you include those first episodes that we did that were shit, is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. You can't believe it. You just can't believe it.
I agree, 100%. Like, I honest to God thought, like, because again, we're so new. Like, as much as like we might feel now that we've kind of got a good rhythm going and stuff like that, and it feels like it's been ages, we are very new to this. Like, we're in what, 6 months less? It'll be 2 years of the 5 Marks. Do you know? We're still very new to this. We've been blessed with so many class guests on. Um, as I said, I'm excited for what's gonna come up in 2024, which I'll announce a couple of things at the end of this episode. With plans to do, but like, yeah,
I'll put it into some bit of a perspective. When we started this podcast, not when we started doing interviews, anything like that. When we officially started doing this podcast, when there was 4 marks, 5 marks, sorry, 5 marks. I forgot the name of the podcast there. When we started this a podcast with the 5 marks and we were posting out shit content, Martin and Emmett didn't know what Irish wrestling was.
nope, no idea.
And to see how far we've come since then, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's fucking crazy what this podcast has done for us.
Yeah,
And now,
it's
like,
mad.
Irish wrestling's mine the fucking number one. Like,
Yeah.
if there was like a booking of like fucking a WWE, like a SmackDown here, and there was an OTT show at the same time, I'd go to the OTT show.
I said it to one of the lads recently. I was like, if you, if I had tickets to majority of shows, I think the only 2 shows I excluded were like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. WrestleMania for obvious reasons. Royal Rumble because it's my favorite show of the year. If you give me tickets to any other wrestling show that was ever happening, on any of those things, and it doesn't matter who's fighting, what matches are happening, anything like that, I'll turn every single one of them down to go to a Hard Knock show, an
Oh yeah,
OTT show, an RCW show, a Fight Factory show.
and like Carmo could like attest to this now. I'm trying to actively get like my UK wrestling mates to watch OTT and Irish wrestling because like they go over there. Like my mate Jack at the moment. I texted you the other day. I texted Dean, Steph, a few other people. Give me matches to show. Like what something like what's your favorite match, or like what's a good match to
Yeah,
show
yeah.
someone who is just getting into it, because like I'm actively trying to get my mates to watch this because that's how much I love the part. They know I'm a massive wrestling fucking nerd, massive wrestling nerd. So the fact that Martin likes something, it's not shit.
Yeah, it was the thing. It was the thing that I wanted when we originally started this podcast. Now, I never thought we'd go to where we have gone with it, but I wanted people to know more about it. I wanted because there's a lot of Irish wrestling fans in this country. There is even more wrestling fans in this country who do not know about Irish wrestling. The reason I know that is because I've been a wrestling fan for the last 20 years. And of those 20 years, there's been Irish wrestling that I did not know about.
Yep.
So that's what I wanted to know. But to also talk about that, and we focus quite a lot on Irish wrestling. If you're listening to us in the UK, there's a lot of British wrestling out there. There's a lot of it, and there's so much great talent out there. And the same goes for Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Belgium. It doesn't matter where you are. There's local wrestling on where you are from.
Check it out.
Go and watch it. Go and support the
Now,
lads.
as well, if you think that we're chatting here, like sitting here chatting shit because like oh they're just doing it for like because they're in that scene, I would just like to remind everyone, enjoy this lovely content. I currently have the Draw logo on my fucking leg.
Yeah,
That's how much I love Irish wrestling.
yeah. I've two bits of merch here behind me. I've two bits of merch here behind me that I've spent a little bit of money on that are very, very important to me now. Very, very important.
At the OTT belt behind me. You can't see it
Yeah,
now because it's a couch stacked on top of a couch, but
yeah.
I have the OTT belt behind me. Like yeah, it's we are blessed. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into some questions now,
Let's do it.
and then I'll kind of I'll chat about what we're planning to do next year and what you guys look forward to. So this first question is, yeah, why is Martin such a jerk and how is Carmo such a doll?
I mean, look, I like I maybe am a bit of a jerk, maybe more so than Martin sometimes, but Martin just brings it to that next level that it makes me look really nice. Um,
Yeah.
so we're actually both jerks, but Martin just goes to that extra level every now and again that makes me look really nice. But I'll take it, you know. It's like I am really nice.
I'm not a jerk. You guys just don't see my viewpoints. Okay, you
That's a good
just
way of doing it, you know. I like that. I like that statement.
it's true. You
Yeah,
just
it's
guys.
going to make you look like more of a jerk, like, but
If you
I like
guys
this
don't
way of doing
believe me as well, go look at the last interview we did with Galacini and Axel. I've been saying it for fucking yonks. So
it. You're
we're
wrong.
gonna answer this one as well in whatever fucking like to time for you guys like 2 or 3 weeks on our first episode. So don't give me your number one, but give me one in your like above your top five. We'll say because we're gonna do top five anyways. Favorite OTT event slash show this year.
Ooh, tough one.
If I was to like straight off the bat, because it's in my top five, but it's not my top three. Um, as much as people want to give the show shit, I really enjoyed Road to the Top.
Yeah, great show, and I shit myself at that show for obvious reasons. But yeah, an incredible show. Mine is either I can't remember. I think it's Road to Scrapper. I think it was the one with Jane O'Malley, and it was the
Yep,
one where the Freshness went up against
but the time
Massive
never
and
draw.
Sterling. Very, very good show. Very, very good show. That's probably my one.
Same thing. Favorite non OTT show.
Hard luck.
That's your number one.
Oh, sorry, yeah, hard luck. But no, we'll go the last RCW show.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The last RCW show.
Um, one that's not my top three. That's in my top five. Because again, we'll answer these in a few weeks here. I have a big soft spot for Unbroken. Hard Knocks
That was the
Unbroken.
first one, wasn't it?
That was the second one.
Second one, sorry, second one.
Big soft
Yeah,
spot for
great
that.
show.
So,
Great show.
who in Irish wrestling, you haven't interviewed but you'd want to?
I'll give one name because I think this is also something that we'll talk about on the next show. But and I've already said Martin Steers, so I'm not going to say Martin Steers. Paddy Morrow.
Yes, completely agree. I think I said something the other day. He's someone I really want to have on.
Yeah,
I was chatting with Dean about like Retrorama, especially for Retrorama. He'd be brilliant. I've already said Steve Savage. But another person who I'd love to have on that we haven't had on yet, Raven Creed.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Raven Creed.
yeah, yeah.
And I put in an honorable mention as well. J Money.
I think that'd be quite funny, you
I
know.
think it'd be a brilliant one, hilarious one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one.
Dream
Definitely does a
non-Irish
list.
wrestling name you'd hope to have on in the next year.
Do you know what? I'll try and go realistic. Um, I need to have a think about this one now.
I
Actually,
thought of this there because of a show tomorrow. Jack Jester.
Jack
Jack.
Chess is a great one.
I'd love to have Jack Jester on.
Yeah, yeah.
If not Jack, I'd love to have Joe Hendry on.
Two good ones. I'll stick with that kind of ICW kind of vibe and go Grado.
Yes, yes, that'd be a great one. Actually, I'd love to do that one. Who would you like to catch up with next year as in a returning guest?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. To pick one, Keen Noonan.
Yeah, one of
Keen
mine.
Noonan.
Like they're like all of them realistically. But I'd love to have just to keep on that like trend. Josh, I'd love
Yeah,
to chat with Josh again.
yeah.
This is your question. How class is Galacini?
Unbelievable. There's a reason why he's the legitimate Galacini. There is no one else as legitimate as the legitimate Galacini. He is in the best tag team, no matter what promotion he goes to, no matter who his partner is, he is the best. He is going to win the Golden Ticket tournament in the Hard Knocks. He is going to become the new Hard Knocks World Champion because he is the most legitimate man in not Irish wrestling, not European wrestling, in all of wrestling.
I'd like to just remind you.
Galacini.
I'd like to just say as well, like he gave me a Christmas card this year, and he called me a Gomi.
That's because you are a goalie.
But yeah, he's going to be a world champion because he pinned his teammate because that's what Galacini does. He's not in it for the
Right?
team; he's
Look,
in it
it's
for
all for the
himself.
brand. His first to fight title defense is going to be against Axel Jarrett, and Axel Jarrett might beat him, and we'll have two Limerick men that have been Hard Knocks World
He's not from
Champions.
Limerick.
What are you talking about?
You're go-
See, this is
we're
this is
moving
why
on.
this is why
We're
this
moving
is
on. We're
why
moving on. We're
this
moving
is
on.
why
You're gonna
you
piss
got a
me off.
card saying that you're a goalie because you're a goalie.
Yeah, but yours says you to buy them fucking chicken huts. So like, what's?
And I will. They deserve it.
Oh Jesus Christ! Any other fans you'd hope to get on along with the tribal chief, Mr. Rob Gold? Maybe some of the old. I can never say the Tivoli
Yeah,
heads. I'd love to get. There's way too many Robs on this
yeah. There's a lot of Robs.
Irish wrestling scene, but I'd love to get Rob on just because like he's
Yeah,
like look what he's done. BTE, he's done spots in the fucking ring. Like Rob has so many fucking stories that he could just tell.
yeah, 100%. He's definitely up there. Claire, I think would be an interesting one.
No,
Yeah, I'd like to get Claire on.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, I'd
no,
like to get Claire on.
no, no.
The
She
reason
bullies
the
me.
reason why is because I think she's met a lot of the wrestlers, and had chats with them and stuff like that. So I'd like to get like a lot of those kind of stories.
She's a bully.
But you're a bully.
Yeah, but not as much as she is to me.
That's fair.
Do you guys? I can already hear her laughing at that. Do you guys plan to travel for wrestling again in 2024? Back to All In or
Yes,
other shows?
yes. I do not plan to go all in.
Nope.
I maybe plan to go to Flemish in February, which is on in Belgium.
Ooh.
And I hope to get a I forgot the fucking name of it. What's the name of the company? What's the name of Will Ospreay's company in UK? It's not his company.
Repro?
RevPro. I hope to get to a RevPro show during the year as well. And maybe either Bash in Berlin or Backlash, one or the other.
I have so I've already, like I've been to so many wrestling shows this year. Like it's been unbelievable. Like Carmo, I'm not doing All In again. I don't know, just something about it. Like I loved All In, loved All In, but I don't. I feel like the tickets have gone on sale way too quick. Like I'm still like I don't think anyone still has the fucking money to do it. And I don't really fancy going to do it again because it was also a bit of a nightmare. I only have planned for one show, and that's if it happens, and that is Survivor Series War Games in the UK.
Yeah, I'll probably go to that as well if it gets announced.
It's only rumored at the moment, but if it happens, I will be there.
Yeah.
Has 2023 met your expectations / hopes for the podcast?
No,
Exceeded them for me.
no. It has not met him. I wish I was a millionaire right now.
Carmo's in it for the money. Like you heard it here first. Cancel him.
Yes, I am.
Cancel
Yes,
him.
I am. I'm all in it for the dash.
He's secretly part of the social elite.
Yeah, but if I had a million, I'd give every fan that listens 20 quid. So, it wouldn't be that bad.
Rob Gold right now is off making like 20 different accounts.
But no, yeah, it's exceeding.
Yeah.
It's been huge, and I think you noticed that from like I was talking about it. And it's hard to put it into words a lot because like we talk privately about it, we talk about it in podcasts, and we've talked about it in other podcasts as well. But like, it's been incredible, and that's the only way I can put it.
So, one question was what was the best interview that you've done so far? We kind of did that one, but we're going to really answer that properly in the next one. But this one we can ask here: What was your favorite episode to record?
Ooh, do you know what? Oh, it has to be in 2023. Because one of my favorite episodes recorded wasn't in 2023.
Was it the Foxy?
No, it was
Oh, this is
the
episodes.
music quiz. The
Oh,
music quiz.
I didn't even cop that on. It's actual episode one. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not an interview or anything. It's an episode. The music quiz one that we did in 2022. I think it's episode like 12 or 13. One of my favorites to do, but that was 2022, so it doesn't count. Episodes this year.
It's a hard one.
Scrapper review is the one that sticks out to me.
It's very.
Where we did the WrestleMania review as well.
That was one of them. Fun episode to do, having all the lads on.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I have another one as well.
Go on.
The preview to the anniversary show where we had like Dean and Rob and Foxy. That was a really fun one.
Especially was that the one where Foxy told me to do the milk shirt? I can't remember which one that was.
I think that was a different episode.
I'm even looking here. Favorite. Do you know what? That one. The best of Irish wrestling in 2023 so far with Foxy.
Fun.
That was
real fun.
Extremely fun to do. And then one that I enjoyed doing that Carmo did not want me to do. I cannot express. Carmo did not want me to do this. Was being on episode 2 or volume 2 of Retrorama talking about CM Punk and Tony Khan.
That's the next question.
Unfortunately, that's all the questions, Carmo.
Good. I'm sick of answering. No, I'm only joking.
Well, I'll probably reach out to get more questions off you guys before.
You people.
Before the New Year episode, but we do appreciate the questions we got. As I said, a lot more of them will be answered in the actual New Year. But
just to say as well, so this episode, we have an episode coming out as we're recording this. This is the 9th of December. So there's an episode coming out today. There's an episode coming out the 16th, and this episode will be out the 23rd as you listen to it. Will probably, it's the 23rd is actually when this one comes out.
No, it's not. I'm doing the Wednesday, the 20th.
Oh, you're doing it that early.
Yeah.
So we probably won't be back until the 13th of January.
You people better be happy.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but there's only 2 weeks where we do not have an episode, so you're not that badly off.
Which is the first time we're ever doing this. Like last year, we had episodes every week in that Christmas run up. Like even
I think we took 1 week off. I think we took 1 week off.
1 week off,
and that was it.
And so like this is the first time we're doing this, but like I think like we fucking especially. Look, I've never said this, but I feel like I fucking deserve this now.
Yeah, no, you have. We all have, in fairness, but you have especially. Yeah.
That's what I want to talk my light as well. But yeah, Carmo, tell them how great I am.
Merton's an absolute dick. No one really likes him. But he does a lot of the background stuff for podcasts, so it's actually really good. But yeah, he's actually a really, really nice guy. Such a gent, and there would be no FiveMarks without him.
I really hope that I'm gonna listen to that back now. I have no idea.
Yeah, I said really nice things.
But yeah, no, I honestly, I cannot wait to be done now. Like, especially like just Peel back that curtain again. This episode was supposed to be recorded a week ago, but it wasn't, and it was supposed to be done Tuesday, but I was too sick, and here we are again.
Yeah, a week ago, fair enough. It was never going to be done. Tuesday you were sick, and then today is today.
But I'm so happy that we're finally coming to the end of this episode because I'm so fucking tired. I was going to go edit the Boots interview and stuff like that after this, but I'm not. But 2023 is over and we are heading into 2024, and I've kind of teased this with a lot of fans going up, but we have a lot of things coming. And I know we've said this in past episodes, but like this time it's great. It's happening. It is happening.
Keep it short. We don't want to like spoil them. We don't want to like. I don't know. We don't want to give them too much.
Well, I'm not gonna give them too
We're
much,
giving you
but
too much already.
there's stuff you've heard about that is 100%. It's happening. It was supposed to happen before what was the last big event? Ninth anniversary, but
Yeah.
just personal things happened. But like they're happening. You're gonna get more 5Marks. You're gonna get more episodes of things because I this is the one thing I'm gonna announce because I can control this one is the 5Marks is gonna be changing a bit. So we're gonna be splitting the topic Saturday episodes and the interviews because we want to do more topics and we want to do more interviews and we want to give you guys stuff to listen to because there's people that enjoy the topic episodes more than the interviews, do you know? So
Yeah.
we kind of want to give everyone what like their own little thing. So every Saturday, the 5Marks will be the 5Marks. We're kind of going back, not go back, but we're like continuing what we're doing now. But we're gonna bring it back, talking about like news.
Raw, SmackDown, AEW,
Just
New
talk.
Japan, Noah,
Yeah, we're gonna
that
like
sort of stuff.
trying to cover a lot more because there is people that are like, hey, I really missed that like when you guys used to cover like the news or talk about all this and Joe. So we're gonna do that a lot as well. Our usual covering Irish wrestling, way more, and then we're gonna have the interviews on their own separate thing as well. So this way, I was saying this to a lot of the guys last night. For when someone like a Matt Schuyler wants to come on or Billy Bedlam, we're not stuck to where we're like, hey, we just don't have room for you. We can be like, hell yeah, let's do that, and we can just put that episode up on like a Wednesday. You're gonna have your Retrorama when it gets recorded. You're gonna have what else the fuck? Yeah, you're gonna have the stuff we've promised, and not promised. We've said it's coming in the past. It's coming. So look forward to it. There's more shows coming, there's more content coming. I'm gonna start doing Twitch streams and playing fucking video games. Look forward to that. Carmo is gonna be here every single week to say hello to all you beautiful people for another week. I don't think you said that today, actually.
Welcome back for another week, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, 2024 is gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot more 5Marks, and there's gonna be a lot more work for me to do. But
There's going to be so much 5Marks that by the end of the year you're going to be sick of us.
They're gonna think they're a fucking 5Mark.
Yeah, you're going to hate me as much as you hate Martin.
Get ready for it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a big year.
But like we have to say, like, thank you guys so much for 2023 and like just listening. The fact there's people who have 20,000 hours, 15, 10, fucking more. Like the amount of people that like put up on their stories about our podcast being their most listened to podcast. The people that fucking screenshot it and sent to us in the DMs. It is unbelievable the support that you guys have for this fucking podcast. Like, honest to God, thank you all so fucking much for listening to just us two gobshites talking every Saturday, 6 p.m.
One gobshite and one,
Two gobshite.
Two gobshites.
I'm
yeah, it's been incredible. Yeah, it's been like
it's been emotional.
Like
I like to thank my mom.
It's like you're probably getting annoyed of us hearing us say thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you this and thank you that, and thank you to guests, thank you to fans, thank you to people that listen. But like we genuinely do mean it. As at the end of the day, we've said this on and on. Like I've heard people say, like friends of mine being like, "Oh, but sure, you're a journalist and you're this." We're not.
No.
We are two wrestling fans who sit down once a week, sometimes twice, sometimes three times, have a chat either on our own with another wrestler. We do interviews with that, and again, it's just a chat. So for us to be in the position that we are in is incredible, and we can only thank the lads for coming on, for the promotions that have given us a help, for you guys that listen, for you guys that chat us at shows, for some of the guys that have bought our merch, all that sort of stuff, for giving us input, everything like that. We can only thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you. And we hope that you do have the happiest of Christmas, and that next year does bring you all the riches and fames and whatever else and good health that you all wish for. And from me anyway, from the 5Marks Forest and podcast, all we can do is say thank you.
100%. And as he said, we hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. As well, we cannot wait to see you guys in the new year of 2024. So, I guess, Carmo, one last time in 2023.
I will say this. We do have a nice Christmas message recorded for you that will be coming out in the next couple of days. So look forward to that.
As well, we have our end of 2023 giveaway that we are doing currently. We're giving away a signed copy of Foxy's new comic book, One Fall, signed by Foxy and Brian. We have a 5Marks t-shirt to give away. And look, I cannot fault him here. Mr. Gallicini gracefully threw in the last, may I add, the last Step Hermano t-shirt. I say last because it's the last one they have. For you guys as well. So if you want to enter that, go to our socials. 5Marks Podcast everywhere, and 5Marks Pod on Twitter. So yeah, go enter it, and as we said, like, thanks, like literally thanks for everything.
Yeah,
I'll never stop saying it.
No, never.
So Carmo,
until we make it big, like, and we forget about it. No, I'm only joking.
One last time.
Look, for 2023, we have been the 5Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we are officially not done, because for 52 weeks of the year, I have exited this podcast, and for the one last week, I'm going to hand it to Martin.
No.
Well, on that note, we're officially ding, ding, dong. Woo!